My name is Major Alex Kirko. I'm here with the 91st Training Division. I am the Deputy Chief of Operations. I live in the area here, but I'm originally from Kennewick, Washington. The 91st Training Division mission here at Fort Hunter Liggett is to train generally ARFIGEN Trained Ready Year 2, Trained Ready Year 3 Army Reserve units for employment in mobilization activities. In addition to that, we're also expanding our exercises to be multi-component and multi-echelon, including active Army, Army National Guard, Marines, Air Force, and Navy. These exercises, the Combat Support Training Program, including Combat Support Training Exercise, CSTX, and Warrior Exercise, or WAREX, are critically important to the United States Army as they provide an opportunity and a platform for units to come to Fort Hunter Liggett and train on these tasks that they would not normally be able to train on. A unit often has the ability to conduct an annual training and focus on their own unit-specific tasks. However, they seldom have the opportunity that we provide to combine these. For example, engineer units working with MP units, logistical units working with signal units in an effort to replicate a actual mobilization to theater. Currently for WAREX we have over 75 training units and an additional 15 training support units. That is approximately 4,500 soldiers in the training audience and another 1,000 soldiers in training support. The training audience can expect as near mobilization training as they would experience anywhere. Our exercises very similarly replicate what they would experience if they were entering either Afghanistan, Iraq, or any other future combat theaters. They will go through a reception, staging, onward integration, and onward movement and integration process, RSOI. They will conduct mission rehearsals and a command post exercise, and then go through an operations phase, including increasing engagements with the enemy and increasing demand on units to support each other. And then finally, they'll go through a reverse reception, staging, onward movement, and integration process. The 91st Training Division throughout the year conducts a number of planning conferences, including a concept development conference about 24 months in advance, an initial planning conference about 12 months prior to the exercise, a mid-planning conference 6 months out, and a final planning conference 3 months out. In addition, there are some lesser conferences, master event list scripting and development, and then a master event list database verification. Through these conferences and through bi-weekly in-progress reviews, teleconferences with the units, we set conditions for success with the units by relaying to them the importance of our requirements and stressing to them their need to provide us the information that they have, and pushing the information that we have to them regarding the arrival here at Fort Hunter Liggett and the requirements on them. Some of the challenges we face, probably the main challenge we have is both time and competing requirements. Our exercises are a 21-day exercise that is attempting to replicate a over 365-day deployment and probably a 365-day planning cycle prior to that deployment. So in our time-compressed environment, the 21 days of the exercise, we're trying to do a lot of things that would probably be solved in 365 days of a deployment. Further, we have some serious challenges with manning, including we generally have Army Reserve training audience out here, and they have Army Reserve issues, school, family, employment. So it's challenging to get enough personnel or the right personnel to attend the exercise, but that does offer some excellent opportunities for junior leaders to step up and fill those senior leaders' roles. The 91st Training Division wants the units to accomplish their unit's training. In addition to that, we stress the units by placing not only their own what we call Commander's Training Objectives, or CTOs, on them. But we also integrate, for example, that military police units CTOs, we integrate it with perhaps a civil affairs or an engineer unit CTOs, and we force them to integrate their forces to accomplish the mission together. Again, that goes back to why our exercises are better than a unit AT, is because if you just have the military police operating on their own, they don't get that integration, which is what we provide here. My favorite part about these exercises is the opportunity to see these units learn and train together. I am always in awe of the initiative and ingenuity of our junior soldiers. We have a tendency to minimize the efforts of a traditional TPU soldier, and they're distracted by their civilian life, their work, their families. But when you put them in an isolated environment like this, and you offer them the opportunity to eliminate those distractions or minimize those distractions and focus on their mission, they come up with some just ingenious ideas, and we see every time that they can accept the mission and exceed our what we thought they were going to be able to do. For the 91st Training Division, our #1 priority during the exercises is the as close as possible replication of an actual theater of combat. Again, we stress realism throughout the training exercise, from using miles to assess personnel and vehicles as kills by either the OPFOR or by IED attacks, things of that nature. And through the RSOI process, the mission rehearsals and operations, we try and make it as real as possible to what it would be like for a soldier going to Afghanistan or Iraq. Closely followed behind that, though, is safety. We emphasize safety at every step of the way, including through the planning process, through the deployment phase here to Fort Hunter Liggett, RSOI, mission rehearsals, and operations. Safety is critical for us because we cannot afford to have a soldier be injured or lost due to what should be managed by safety. What should be safe practices should prevent an injury that'll increase downtime. How have my experiences helped me execute my mission here during the exercises? Let's see. I have roughly 15 years of active duty service, so I've seen a lot of training exercises, and I've seen, I have a bit of a history with some special operations, and so I see what active duty and special operations units do, and I try and apply that here. Really the main thing is through my Army professional military education. I just finished the intermediate level education program, and the doctrine that we learn in those courses is easily replicated and applied here, and it gives us all a baseline of we speak the common talk, and we're able to communicate amongst each other more efficiently. Our training exercises, again, CSTX and WAREX, in this particular case 911403, these are the premier Army Reserve training exercises. These are #2 on the Chief of the Army Reserve strategic priorities. And specifically to the 91st Training Division, these are multi-echelon and multi-component training exercises that a unit would not be able to do on their own. We absolutely cannot do these without the assistance and support of our training audience, which we greatly appreciate, and even more so our training partners, the 75th Training Command, the 84th Training Command, Medical Readiness Training Command, Army MedCom, and 335th Signal Command, and most importantly, 1st Army, including the 189 Infantry Brigade. Those entities afford us, the 91st Training Division, to expand our exercises beyond a maneuver or light sustainment exercise, and really move into a full theater replicated exercise.
I'm Major Andrew Rigger, the Exercise Project Officer for Warrior Exercise 91-1403 here at Fort Hunter Liggett, California. I'm with the G5 Plan Section out of the 91st Division. 91st Division provides an environment here at Fort Hunter Liggett for units to come and train their soldiers, train their commanders' training objectives. And we do this at every level of the Army, every level of the Army, from detachment all the way up to command levels, or brigade all the way down to detachment, however you want to look at it. It's an important mission to the overall Army because it provides an opportunity that's not available at the home station of these units. They don't often get to operate at this multi-echelon level, from the brigade giving an order all the way down to the execution level and all the planning stages in between, and also being able to coordinate with all the different types of units, sustainment, maneuver support, and medical, to name some that are in the exercise. During the Warrior exercise, there are approximately 60 units that are in our training audience, which here on ground we have over 4,000 soldiers, and that's just the training audience. Once you put in training support enablers, to include our OCTs and our OP4, we're looking at over 6,000 soldiers and 80 to 90 different units represented on ground. The training here at Fort Hunter Liggett, we follow the decisive action training environment to provide a scenario to test the training objectives of the individual commanders that come here to Fort Hunter Liggett to participate in the exercise. So at a brigade or battalion, this may be heavy on the planning and the military decision-making process, whereas at the company and detachment squad level, you're looking at troop leading procedures, the actual operation of equipment, and operations that individual soldiers would be doing. We do the whole spectrum from brigade all the way down. The 91st Training Division goes through a 2-year planning cycle prior to the actual execution of the exercise. About 2 years out, we go through a concept development cycle based on the type of units that are going to be anticipated to be in the exercise in 2 years. We spend the next year actually determining who those units are. USARC gives us the list of the Army Reserve units, as well as we fill the gaps in the structure with active component, National Guard, and joint units to fill out a full exercise that has across the joint and multi-component spectrum of units. And then about 1 year out, we start our planning conferences with the units that have been identified, starting with an initial planning conference, which follows a format similar to a joint assessment conference that a unit would get preparing for mobilization. And our planning conference schedule then follows a plan similar to what a unit would have in a pre-mobilization cycle. So we're starting to train these units 12 months out from them actually deploying to Atropia, to our environment here. I think with any exercise this large, you're going to encounter a lot of challenges. In this case, a lot of them are just related to the coordination between the units prior to getting here. A lot of these units haven't worked together in the past, so oftentimes in the first few days they have to work out certain aspects, and things start out kind of rough at first, but every time so far, at least as long as I've been here, it's always worked out, and we've had an excellent training exercise by the end. The top goal, of course, for the 91st Division, as far as for what the exercise units should achieve while they're here, is training of their commanders' training objectives. That's absolutely the top priority. Beyond that, or to expand on that, that's all the way down to the individual soldier being able to practice his or her soldier tasks that they would be doing in a combat environment, in an environment here that would replicate as close as possible to the environment they may see while deployed, and all the way up, of course, to the brigade level, and with the tasks that they would execute at that level in a deployed environment as well.